Great. Inspiring.
Thank you very much. Have a great summer. And Sharon just commented to me, and I had the same thought. I said, what a remarkable group of diverse young men and women. So we're very proud of you. We're proud of our team. And you're very fortunate to work alongside some very talented investment folks who come here every day thinking about how to ensure that our teachers retire with security and dignity. So thanks, Chris. Thanks for all the work that everyone's doing. Thank you. Next item, anyone in the public that's here to speak on item 9, our Chief Investment Officer's report? Okay. Item 10 is the Model Risk Budget Work Plan. Scott Chen.
It's Scott Limpalong Chan now.
Yeah. Scott.
You know, it feels fine. It feels fine. My name is Scott Chan. I'm the Deputy Chief Investment Officer. And I'm going to be brief because I know that we're a little bit truncated on time. And really all I wanted to do was put forward the next 12-month work plan on the risk budget. But I did want to start off the conversation with an ongoing conversation that I've been having with Harry, and that's about culture. Culture is CalSTR's competitive advantage, for sure. Our values, our beliefs, the way we carry ourselves and act and behave. And as we grow, as we execute the collaborative model, as our investment organization becomes more sophisticated, we have to be very intentional about how we maintain that culture. And, you know, in regards to risk, I think part of the answer is to become more systematic. It's to become more consistent across the framework. And we talk about I would love for us to continue to build a strong culture around risk. And I think that's going to take two components. It's really about building a common set of language. And essentially there are two components to that. One is the strategic asset allocation, which you've heard a lot about, but represents roughly 93% of the risk if we were to go back in the attribution. And the second is a risk budget. The variation around that risk, around that strategic asset allocation target that we all are going to be on the same page on and agree in terms of the risks that we take to achieve excess returns. And I think it's simple as that. In March, we talked about two of the benefits of establishing or adopting a risk budget. One is greater flexibility for the investment staff. It is another governance tool. It works in complement with the investment policies. And second is a more explicit link between the amount of risk that we take and our target, to link those two. And hopefully what we could achieve is a better risk return outcome. So in going over the timeline for the next 12 months, I think the board was really spot on in the comments and the questions we had in that March meeting. So I'm just going to respond to it from that perspective. First thing you can see is that we're going to go asset class by asset class, and in the next 12 months really cover the public markets, public equities, and fixed income. That was something that Joy talked about. We're going to talk about any changes or differences in the delegation with that complement between a new governance tool in the risk budget and the investment policy statement. Sharon was interested in that. We'll talk about how the investment committee can measure and monitor and set a risk budget, which Joy and Nora were very interested in us discussing. And we'll talk about how other policies such as the benchmark and compensation might change or not change due to an active risk budget, which is something Betty Yee had been very interested in. So I just wanted to outline it briefly. We're going to take roughly 18 to 24 months, but we're just setting forth the next 12 months. And what you don't see is the next year, which would likely entail the private market assets as well as the total fund. So I just wanted to go through the work plan with you and see if there are any questions.
Scott.
Continued work and updates.
Be careful.
Thank you, sir.
I'm worried about him. I'm like, don't trip.
Sure. Don't.
You know, I'll just ask you. You're good. don't want you to sit like that.
Thanks, Gail. Okay. Is anybody in the public here to speak about model risk budget and the work plan? Information request, which is Steve Hamilton. Do we have? Yeah, just the, we had the one, which one was that, Joy?
Executive compensation, is that an information request?
The executive comp.
Lynn had brought up a question about executive compensation and having a chance
Oh,
to look
yes,
at that.
yes.
Bring back an item on executive comp.
Correct.
In November.
Correct, that's going to be in November in
Or-
terms of the, under Kirsty's
Our
team.
engagement plan.
Yeah, the engagement plan. Thank you for that, Joy. And then Makita is going to forward to each member of the investment committee a copy of the public market comparison to private equity, that report that they did a couple of years ago for us. Okay? All right, thank you. Thanks, Steve. And yes. Sure. Dana?
I'm sorry. I didn't. We were moving a lot quicker than I thought we were. I apologize. And I'm not sure this is the appropriate time to bring it up. But I would like to request that on I'd like to move a request that in our September agenda that we have an item agendized for discuss Unite Here and CBRE
Okay,
and the issues therein.
sure. So I'll work with Joy and the team in terms of how that should be structured and the forum for which that conversation
appreciate
take.
that. Thank you.
Absolutely, sure. Anything else? All right, so that's, no one's here to speak about comments on our information request. Okay. Draft agenda for the next meeting. Chris, do you want to highlight anything from the draft agenda?
Well, one thing Chris Allen, Chief Investment Officer, one thing I would highlight is September and your March springtime meeting, it's fair to say, is when we review your semi-annual performance. So the September one is important because that will be reflecting the June 30 numbers. So we'll give you reports on how we did through the fiscal year and most importantly, how we did over 3 years. I'm pleased to say that I am very confident that 3-year number is definitely going to be above the 7%. So we're in good shape on the trend, but the pace is what we also look at. You'll also get private equity real estate specialty reports as of March 31. And that will take the bulk of your meeting. We will also have that asset allocation discussion where Geraldine and the team will be coming back with actual portfolios for you to begin looking at. So rest up in the summer. I gave you a long reading list of books, but the September meeting is always very meaty with a lot of complex stuff.
But the other committees actually are a bit lighter in September. The rest of all the committees are heavier in November, so it really fits very well with that.
And that was Jackie and his CEO.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chris. We are going to take a 10-minute break, and then when we return, we'll have the 30 minutes of public comment. So we'll take about a 10-minute break, staff will coordinate, and then we'll come back for the 30-minute public comment period. So we have a 30-minute window for public comments. Our team will put the timer up on the screen behind us. And we have 3 groups that will be speaking with us today. They are Unite Here, the Earth Guardians, and Fossil Free California. So we are going to take, Unite Here has 5 minutes of the 30 to speak with us today. I understand that there is translation, so the timer will be paused for the translation purposes. After Unite uses their 5 minutes, we will then go to Fossil Free California, who has 15 minutes, and how you use that 15 minutes is solely up to you. And then we will transition to the Earth Guardians, who have 10 minutes. So again, the Earth Guardians may determine how you choose to use your 10-minute allotment of the 30. So with that, if the staff is ready, we can begin the timer. We're going to start with Unite Here.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Susan Minato. I'm the co-president of Unite Here Local 11. We represent about 30,000 hospitality workers in Southern California and Arizona. People in our union work in some of the places that CalSTRS invests in. And we just unionized the CBRE-owned Irvine Marriott in Irvine and are fighting to resolve many problems in that shop, including preventing sexual harassment. You may have already heard from some of the women in the past that have come here. Many workers work alone in hotel guest rooms and restrooms where they face risk of male guests exposing themselves to them or worse. I'm here to try to persuade you that your leadership is very critical at this time to address the challenges of these workers. Certain issues are difficult to speak about. But they're real and they are sustained damage that occurs to people. But I think it's important that we do not look away, but instead face this problem front on and deal with it in a real and practical way. This is very personal for me. I am a victim of sexual assault. I have never spoken about it to my parents, not on the day that it happened at age 13, not even today with my mother, who is 91 years old. After it happened, I built my life to protect myself from this kind of shame. I had to conduct my life in a way so that no one could ever know it happened. And though there were many witnesses who seemed to quietly judge me, they sometimes just simply averted their eyes when I walked past them. I wondered, what had I done wrong? Though I did not know it, I fell into a depression, and that lasted until my voice was heard. The women of the Irvine Marriott were silent for a long time too, but with great courage and the support of their union, they have come forward and broken their silence. Women like Leticia Vallejo, who filed a pending lawsuit this past January 2019 against the Irvine Marriott. You have not heard from her before, and unfortunately she could not make it up here, so I just want to say that in her lawsuit, she alleges that she was made to clean men's restrooms at hotels without an effective means of keeping men from coming in while she was cleaning. One day, a drunk guest approached her in the men's lobby restroom while she was bent over to collect trash. The drunk man moved his hands up to private parts of hers and grabbed her. She says she felt other private parts of his press against her from behind. He held up a $50 bill in one hand and shook it in front of her and said, "This is for you." She was terrified, but fortunately, she broke free and fled from the restroom. These allegations are very painful to hear, I know that, but they are not unique in the hospitality industry. The sector ranked #1 between 2005 and 2015 in sexual harassment charges filed with the EEOC. This is a problem that demands solutions. You are already the kind of leaders that participate in the system to protect the hard-earned money of teachers and other public servants, and we please ask you to make sure justice is served for the women who broke their silence and others who have dignity and respect, so that they can have dignity and respect on the job. Specifically, I ask you as state officers and fiduciaries to the fund to halt any investment in CBRE Fund 9 until you know that this company has in place measures, including assurances that workers have a fair process to win a voice at all of its workplaces and to fully resolve the labor issues at the Irvine Marriott and the Pullman. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Jeremy Blasey. I am General Counsel for Unite Here Local 11. As you have heard, CBRE's 2 California hotels, the Irvine Marriott and the Hotel Pullman San Francisco, are embroiled in protracted labor disputes now entering their 3rd year. OSHA fines, unfair labor practice charges, allegations of state wage and hour violations, allegations by employees that management failed to respond to sexual harassment. CBRE has proven itself unable or unwilling to control the operators at both hotels. CBRE's efforts to sell both hotels, which comprise 20% of CBRE's strategic partner Seven's value, have so far failed. Its inability to resolve the escalating labor disputes at both hotels exposes limited partners seeking a profitable disposition of the hotels to what we believe is unnecessary risk. The commercial real estate industry has faced a wave of workers demanding better working conditions. Some investment managers have responded by proactively seeking to deal with human capital risk. CBRE, unfortunately, has not. CBRE told an investor that its response is to, I'm sorry.
Could you conclude your comments, please?
Okay.
And you can submit the letter to into the record for us. That'd be fine.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next 15 minutes of the 30-minute allotment is allocated to fossil-free California. And if you could just identify your name and then the next person speak after you. So fossil-free.
Thank you so much. My name is Cynthia Coffman, and I'm a faculty member at De Anza College. In 2013, my students got our district to divest from fossil fuels. In 2015, my union, the Faculty Association of the Foothill De Anza Community College District, asked CalSTRS to divest our pension funds from fossil fuels. I know that all of you know about the climate crisis and care deeply about sustainability. I think that your policy of engagement is well intended, but I also think that it's based on somewhat on hubris and inertia. It seems to me that engagement, it does not work when you're going against the basic business of a sector. In other words, the fossil fuel sector has spent millions of dollars sowing confusion around climate change and lying and hiding issues around climate change. You are not going to change ExxonMobil, Shell, and companies like that. It seems, and so I really do wonder why you're still in. There's speculation that you've already lost billions of dollars by being in that sector rather than in being in some other sectors. And so I really look forward to January when you're going to be required to report on how this sector has performed, because I think you'll find that they've performed incredibly poorly. And it seems to me that there's no reason to believe that they're going to perform well in the future. So we came up with this little document that you've seen, and I would like for this to be into the record, that basically says you can be climate heroes. You can very quickly choose to say, CalSTRS is going to divest from fossil fuels, and you can be part of the momentum that stigmatizes those companies, and therefore helps lose the political power that they have. Because right now, the reason what's slowing down progress on the climate is the fact that those companies have tremendous political power. We need to take away their social license by having CalSTRS divest. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ruth Moore. I've been a middle school teacher for 30 years in Santa Rosa and other areas. I'm also a STRS member for 30 years. I don't pretend to be either a financial expert or an expert on climate change, but I'm here to share with you my lived experience with my students. I live a mile from the edge of the wildfires in Santa Rosa that hit many of my students and neighbors. And a lot of people also ask me if students have changed in the 30 years that I've been teaching, and I would say that generally no. Even though superficial things like hair and fashion may have changed, even technology trends, students, their hearts and minds remain, to me, comparable to 30 years ago. However, there is one disturbing change that my husband, who's also a teacher, and I have both noticed, and that is a significant decrease in hope and a significant increase in anxiety. Following the last presidential election, many of my students suffered from anxiety. I am here to implore you to use your clearly impressive powers, intellectual, professional, political, moral, to divest from fossil fuels and send a powerful message to my students and to teachers like myself. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Avery Reed, and I'm a high schooler senior from Rohnert Park. And I'm here today because at this point, for students, it isn't really a choice. Sure, we chose to get in the car and drive here this afternoon, but it's an obligation we feel to our future. And so throughout the past year, the floods and the fires have forced climate change to become the forefront of our student advocacy. And I've had to kayak to town even, and I've driven through my friend's neighborhood that was burnt completely to the ground. At this point, climate change isn't just a list of statistics that we can easily ignore. It's too close to home to ignore. So we go out, we march, we protest, and we hold up our signs saying, "Save our ship." And while we claim that we're ready to take the helm, we still look to our advisors for guidance. And as students, these this guidance comes from our teachers. Now, 70% of faculty on UC campuses support divestment. So to see their pensions invested in the very industry that we're fighting against is hurtful. Investing in the future of fossil fuels directly jeopardizes our future and our health. And I urge you to consider your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren when you're considering this decision. Please divest from fossil fuels. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Anne Rothschild. I'm a retired community college instructor, and I'm here for my grandchildren too. I've enjoyed the beauty of the planet for the last 50 years, but in the last 50 years, the population has doubled. Increased destruction of Earth and atmosphere. My concern is with the issue of momentum. As the Earth warms, the ice sheets melt, ocean acidifies, sea levels rise, and insects thrive, there is momentum to all these events and this movement. They gather speed and they gather impact. CalSTRS has large funds and much influence, and I entreat you to divest from fossil fuels. You will be following in the steps of the business community. Chubb Limited, the world's largest publicly traded property insurance company, has adopted a policy of no longer insuring coal-fired power plants. The faith community, the Episcopal and Catholic, the Pope has issued an encyclical about the environment. The intellectual community, as you heard about UC faculty. Please give our young people hope and do the right thing. Thank you.
I'm Paula Buell. I'm a retired teacher, and I'm a second-generation STRS member. Back in 1938, when my father was teaching high school in Delano, I think oil and gas probably looked like a good investment. And I'm just asking you now to realize that times have changed. And my family and the members have placed our trust in you for many, many years. And please keep the faith by divesting from fossil fuels. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Luke Wilson. I'm really happy to be able to come and talk to you guys today. And I'm a STRS pensioner, and I'm I'm thankful for all you've been doing for all of us. But I listened to you talk about risk today a lot, and I think there's a high risk of stranded assets in the fossil fuels industry, and I think that you know, they're writing off you know, like $150 billion worth of assets in Europe recently because of this, and it's only going to get worse because when the public policy catches up with the low cost of renewables, then things are going to change really fast. So I hope you guys move quickly and keep our pensions coming and do your job. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Kori Jong, and I've been teaching for 13 years. I currently teach in Oakland Public Schools, middle school. I've taught in 4 public school districts in the state of California. I grew up in Richmond under the shadow of the Chevron refinery, and my opinion is to engage with fossil fuels is a failure. How does money or profit make it any better when you're killing us? The fossil fuel industry uses engagement to manipulate and pollute, to allow this to continue as complicity in the biggest crime in history, stealing the future of our planet. For moral reasons, CalSTRS needs to divest from fossil fuels because it is contributing to climate chaos. For financial reasons, CalSTRS needs to divest from fossil fuels because it is a risky, volatile, and bad investment. For the sake of the fund and your own guidelines for divestment, CalSTRS needs to divest from fossil fuels because you will lose confidence of CalSTRS members the longer you wait. CalSTRS is currently managing my money. I do not want to invest 1 penny of my money in fossil fuels that are destroying our future and our planet. No amount of profit or interest is worth it at the cost of our environment. We need to have the vision to create the type of world we want to see. We need leaders with vision who will be brave enough to protect our future. I'm calling on board members to publicly take a position to support this call for divestment. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Susan Butler Graham. I am a retired San Jose teacher and a member of Mothers Out Front. I'm here to urge you to divest our hard-earned retirement funds away from fossil fuels. When I found out that CalSTRS, my retirement system, has continued to invest millions of dollars in the fossil fuel industry, I was appalled. How dare you? How dare you take the money we teachers have been working so hard for and use it so carelessly, invested in an industry that is working to pump and frack and burn more oil and gas with complete disregard for the scientific facts? How dare you place profits, short-term profits, above the future of our planet and our children? How dare you invest in an industry that is destined to lose while you could invest our hard-earned money in clean, sustainable energy companies that are on the rise? You people have a unique opportunity right now. CalSTRS is the nation's second largest public pension fund with assets totaling over $236 billion, we just heard. You have the opportunity to have a huge impact on the future of our children and grandchildren. Do the right thing. Divest from fossil fuels now. We need a livable planet for all children.
Hello, my name is Laurie Rubin. I live in Sebastopol. I work on the Sonoma and Marin Coast. I appreciate your work for us. I appreciate that you look at numbers and you're thinking about things with reason. I would like to add that we have 450 parts per million carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. It has never happened before. We have 11 years to make drastic changes, or there will be no civilization for these children when they grow up. I live 8 miles from where the Tubbs fire stopped in 2017. We had many smoke days this year. We had many flood days this year. My school district, I've never had that many days when our students couldn't go to school or when they came to school, but they couldn't go outside because the air quality was so bad. Please, we want a future for our students. This is why I became a teacher 30 years ago, to try to make a difference. I want them to have a future, please.
Hello, my name is Julaine Rosner. I teach at Mission College in Santa Clara. And as a 25-year member of CalSTRS, I want to thank you for safeguarding and growing our fund. But I'm very concerned also with the fund's long-term viability. And California investment in the fossil fuel industry is incompatible with a sustainable, healthy future. And for the health of our fund, our state, and our world, I urge CalSTRS to divest from fossil fuels. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Warheit. I'm with Fossil Free California. I'm the mother of a STRS retiree, and I'm the daughter of a mother. I'm not the mother of a STRS retiree. I don't look a day over 100, I know. My mother is a STRS retiree, excuse me. My son, who is standing behind me off camera, will be 25 in the year 2030. In 2050, which sounds like a long time away to those of us working on climate change, he will be younger than I am today, and I'm not 100. He's here, along with many other youth, with their parents' written consent to speak about the need for divestment from fossil fuels. And I can't think of anyone who has more standing on this issue than the people who will be alive to see the results of the uncontrolled experiment being done on our planet by the fossil fuel industry. They need to be heard, and you currently have a policy of not allowing them to be recorded or included in the public record. That is censorship. My son has my permission to be on this screen, and I want everyone watching, I want all of the CalSTRS members who are watching to know that you are not hearing everything that happens in this room today, and that's not right. So I urge you to change this policy. Thank you.
I'm part of the Earth Guardian, so. Okay, as Fossil Free still has a couple minutes, seeing no one from Fossil Free, why don't we go to the next group? Is it Rayna Myers Dahlkamp? Okay, before you speak, I just want to read this into the record. that when we hear public comments from individuals who are under the age of 18, to protect the privacy of minors who wish to address our board, CalSTRS will turn off the live feed and video of their comments, and will resume that upon its completion. So we go to you, Ms. Rayna Meyer Dalkamp. Welcome. Sure, sure. Thanks, Grant. Still at it.
Thank you. I'm Rina Myers
Thank
Dahlkamp, the adult coordinator for Earth Guardians Bay Area crew. And I'm, if I could have the live stream on this piece here, because the children are not allowed to be screened and their words that they're carrying, leaving camp, leaving schools, leaving their childhood, daily activities to come to every meeting until you divest, the long haul commitment, I have the honor to step in and present this gift to you that Magdalena, 11-year-old, took the lead on creating. And as you'll see here, it started as a small collage, and it grew as she started really working with this, because speaking for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes doesn't clearly come in with what the youth that are in this room and many other places have to say. So as I just want to walk through for those of you that can't see, it starts with, up here, a recent May 15th article out of Bloomberg that really shows Trump likes fossil fuels, but investors don't. And it looks at clean energy, oil, and then the negative part of fossil fuels. Quickly says, fossil fuels never had a better friend in the White House than Donald Trump. So why 2 years into his presidency are investors favoring public companies devoted to renewable energy and giving the Bronx cheer to the coal, gas, and oil crowd? And then it moves into something similar. This was just actually from July 6th, speaking about a most recent OPEC annual meeting in Vienna, where it was actually named that with the youth climate movement, Greta Thunberg, who is leading, is actually being seen as a great threat. The youth rising, the awareness that's happening is actually causing them to identify climate change activists and potential related lawsuits as risks to their business. It's in their annual reports. It's continuing. We're in a different time than we were when we started the engagement idea as a strategy. We're shifting. They're showing that it's definitely a higher risk, and the returns are not as they used to be. She also included last month, or last meeting when Rio spoke, they were talking about how he had done a research project on the secret documents in the 1980s. So here we have when the offshore oil drilling platforms were raised in the 80s to anticipate the raising sea levels. And then there's a picture of everyone that she wanted to include. And it just says, please help end this madness, be the leaders we need. It goes on with other images that are very, very intense. And please, I hope each one of you will really see this gift, keep it, and read every detail, because there are very powerful reasons on why major investment firms are shifting from engagement to divestment. And I hope that you will feel her love and the youth's voice in this. And next time, I really hope they get to present and get such gifts as themselves and be seen by the CalSTRS members. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for the public comments. That concludes the public comment portion of our agenda. We are adjourned from open session. We'll take a 5-minute break and we'll come back into closed session. Thank you.